What's up, everyone? I hope you guys had a happy and safe holiday, but now it's back to business. Today I'm going to be going over the final new comic book day of the year. I'm going to be covering all the new comics this week, their variant covers, and any sort of important info you guys need to know to help you decide which issues you want to pick up. So stay tuned. Welcome back, AR Comics here, and today I'm going over all the new comics this week for the final new comic book day of the year. But before I get into that, if you are new to the channel, I drop weekly comic book content, and if you want to join a community dedicated to comic books and raising awareness for mental health, then hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified every time I drop new content. You won't regret it. And now, without further ado, let's get started on this week's comics. So honestly, I'm still trying to get over how much I love this last new comic book day. I thought all of those issues I picked up were incredible. And Gideon Falls number 27, such a perfect ending to such a great series. So I'm hoping this week's new comics are just as good, but I'm going to be starting off with AWA Upshot and Aftershock comics together because they're both having very small weeks. But first up from AWA, we have Bad Mother, number 5 out of 5. It only has a cover A, and this is the final issue of the mini run. I love this series. I think it's very good. This is one of my more favorite ones from AWA. And since it is finishing up, I'm sure they're going to be coming out with a trade paperback at some point. So definitely check this one out. But that's the only issue from AWA, so moving on to Aftershock, we have Kaiju Score, number 2. It only has a cover A, and I'm going to be skipping out on this one because I missed out on the first issue. But honestly, I don't know anyone that is reading this, so that's another reason I'm not getting it. Moving on from there, we have Sympathy for No Devils, number 3, only has a cover A, and same thing. I missed out on the first 2 issues, and this is something I don't know anybody that's reading it, so I'm not going to be getting it. But out of those 3 issues, the only one I am picking up is Bad Mother, number 5 out of 5. Definitely check that one out. It's a very good series. I know it's a little bit harder to come by because it's AWA, and a lot of shops, at least around me, don't cover issues like this. So when it does come out, make sure you check out that trade paperback. But let's move on to Image Comics. So this last new comic book day, Image absolutely killed it, but this week they're having a very small week, which makes sense. All of their big heavy hitters came out this last one. But first up today from Image, we have Lost Soldiers, number 5 of 5, only has a cover A, and this is the final issue of the mini-series. I haven't read anything involving this series, but a lot of people have told me it's pretty good, so I might check it out eventually if they come out with a trade paperback. But moving on from there, we have Monstrous, Talk Stories, number 2 of 2. This is also the final issue of the mini-run, and for all of you readers, this bridges the gap between the 5th and 6th arc, and the new arc does resume in January of this year. So if you're interested in this series, this is something you should be reading. Moving on from there, though, we have Nailbiter Returns, number 8. It only has a cover A, and this is something I wish I was reading, but I haven't read any of the original Nailbiters, so I'm going to be skipping out on this. And honestly, those are all the issues coming out this week from Image. I'm not going to be getting any of them, so let's move on to Dark Horse Comics. So I know usually after Image Comics I move on to Boom Studios, but there's nothing coming out from Boom this week, so I'm going to be talking about Dark Horse Comics now. The first up today is Avatar Next Shadow, number 1. It only has a cover A, and while I did like the movie, this isn't something I'm going to be picking up. Moving on from there, we have Colonel Weird Cosmagog, number 3 of 4. It has a cover A and a cover B. This is another series I don't know anything about. I'm not going to be picking it up. And moving on, we have Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology, number 4. It has a cover A and a cover B. Another series, not reading, not going to be grabbing. But after that, we have Overwatch Tracer London Calling, number 2. It has a cover A and a cover B. Well, I do think the video game is very fun. I didn't even know that they had a comic book series, so I won't be grabbing this one. But then after that, we have Resident Alien Your Ride's Here, number 3. It only has a cover A, and this is something I wish I was reading. If you follow my videos, a lot of my comic shops near me don't really carry books like this unless if it's a special order. So I missed out on the first issue, and then it went on from there. I know I can order it, but that's just not as fun to me. I like being able to go out there, find the issue, and just be like, yes, I found it. And I just enjoy it a lot more that way. But I haven't found this one. After that, we have Stranger Things D&D Crossover, number 3. It has a cover A, B, C, and D. And I'm not reading Stranger Things. I'm not really big into D&D, but looking at the inside art, I feel like this series could be really cool. I like Stranger Things, and I like what they do in the show with D&D, so I think this could be a really cool concept. So if you are reading this, let me know down below what you think about it. But after that, we have True Lies, Fabulous Killjoys, number 4. It has a cover A, B, and C, and this is something I really wish I was reading. If you followed my last haul video, which I made out in a killer haul, I got so much cool stuff, make sure you check that video out. But I went there strictly for this volume 1 hardcover, and I didn't even end up getting it. And the whole purpose of getting that was so I could start reading this series, and I didn't get it, so obviously I can't read it. So eventually maybe I will. But moving on from there, we have Witcher Fading Memories number 2 of 4. It has a cover A and a cover B, and while I do really like the game for this one too, I'm just not really interested in this. But that's everything from Dark Horse Comics. I won't be picking up any of these books, so let's move on to IDW. First up today from IDW, we have Canto 2, Hollow Men number 4 of 5. This only has a cover A, and I've actually read the first couple issues of this new volume, and I thought it was pretty good. But I stopped getting it because I didn't feel like it was worth my money. This is something I would rather read all at once in a trade paperback form, so assuming they come out with that, I'll eventually get that. But moving on from there, we have Dungeons & Dragons at Spine of World number 2 of 4, has a cover A and a cover B. I don't really have any interest in Dungeons & Dragons, so I won't be picking this one up. But then we have Marvel Action Avengers number 12, has a cover A, and this is something a lot of people have told me I should get into. I've heard the Spider-Man one and the Captain Marvel one, and a few other ones have actually been pretty good, but it's just not something I personally was too interested in, so I'm going to be skipping out on this one too. But after that, we have My Little Pony Friendship is Magic number 92, has a cover A and a cover B, and if you are reading this, this is the end of the arc, so make sure you check that out. The story is wrapping up. Personally, I'm not a My Little Pony fan. I definitely won't be getting this. But then from there, we have Rom Dire Wraiths number 3 of 3, has a cover A and a cover B, and this miniseries is wrapping up. I haven't read this, and I don't know a lot of people who have read this, but I have had a few people that have been messaging me saying it's actually a pretty good series. I should check it out. But like I've been saying, a lot of shops near me don't really carry issues like this, so it would have to be a special order. But then we have Star Trek Year 5 number 17, only has a cover A, and if you are reading this series, this is an issue you do not want to miss out on. It has the origin of Gary 7, so make sure you check that out. But then from there, we have Transformers Escape number 1 of 5. It has a cover A, B, C, and D, and this is a brand new series for you Transformers fans. Personally, that's not me, so I'll be skipping out on this one as well. And then we have one final issue today. We have Usagi Yojimbo Wanderer's Road number 2 of 6, only has a cover A. And if you've been following my videos, I used to talk a lot of shit on Peach Momoko's art. I actually really like this cover. Recently in a lot of my videos I've been saying, I think this cover's pretty nice, I think this cover's pretty nice. So now I feel like I say that I like her covers a lot more than I dislike her covers. It's a lot of the more newer ones that she's been coming out with, but props to you, Peach. Some of these covers are actually extremely nice. But those are all the issues coming out from IDW this week. I won't be picking up any of them, so let's move on to Marvel Comics. So honestly, I think Marvel's been killing it lately. I've actually really been enjoying a lot of the issues I've been picking up. But first up today from them, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 55. This is the final issue of the Last Remains arc. It has a cover A, B, and C. Story aside, that cover A is one of the most beautiful covers I have seen in a very long time. I absolutely love it. Patrick Gleason, you did a great job on it. But now back to the actual story. As I was saying, this is the final issue of the Last Remains arc. You do not want to miss out on this one. I think it's going to be huge. So great story, final issue, plus a beautiful cover. It's a must pick up in my opinion. But moving on from there, we have Avengers number 40. It has a cover A, B, and C. This is a series I would have liked to get into, but a lot of people have said it's not really worth it. Just save it for a hardcover or something like that. So if I end up ever picking it up, it's going to be in a hardcover or omnibus form. Moving on from there, we have a brand new series coming out though. Ghost Rider Return of Vengeance number 1 has a cover A, B, C, and D. I'm sure there's more covers. Make sure you check out with your local comic book shop to see which ones they're going to be getting in. But this is something I'm actually looking forward to because I really like that first Ghost Rider series they came out with, I think last year or a year and a half ago at this point, but COVID kind of screwed it up and made it get canceled. I really like that one, so I'm hoping this one's going to be just as good. But moving on from there, we have King in Black, Iron Man, and Doctor Doom. Number 1 has a cover A and a cover B. I told myself I'm not going to be getting any of these King in Black tie-ins, so I'm holding myself to that. I'm not going to be getting this one or the next one. King in Black, Namor, number 2 of 5. This one only has a cover A. Same thing. Haven't heard really any good things about these tie-ins. I didn't like almost any of the Absolute Carnage tie-ins. I feel like this is going to be the same thing. So I'm skipping out on those. But moving on from there, we have Shang-Chi, number 4 of 5. This has a cover A and a cover B. I read the first 2 issues. I thought they were pretty cool, but it wasn't enough to keep me hooked. If you are still reading this, let me know down low in the comment section what you're thinking about it. But moving on from there, we have Werewolf by Night, number 3 of 4. Only has a cover A. I'm not reading this series. I actually have heard pretty good things about it though, so if you're into the Werewolf by Night stuff, you should be checking this one out. But after Werewolf by Night, we have Wolverine number 8, has a cover A, B, and C. And for those of you wanting to jump onto Wolverine, this is the issue to do it. Not only are they celebrating 350 solo issues of Wolverine, but it's also a brand new arc, and it's going to be an oversized issue, so this is the one for you guys. But moving on from Wolverine, we have X-Men 16. It has a cover A and a cover B. And if you guys been following me, you already know I'm not really reading X-Men. I'm not a huge X-Men fan, so I'm going to be skipping out on this one. But those are all the issues coming out from Marvel this week. I think it's going to be an okay week. I'm really looking forward to Amazing Spider-Man number 55. I love this cover, but I'm really interested to see how they wrap up the Last Remains arc. But then the only other thing I'm getting from Marvel this week is going to be Ghost Rider Return of Vengeance number 1. It's a brand new series, and I'm a Ghost Rider fan. Definitely got to check it out. And now let's move on to DC Comics. So these last few weeks, I haven't really been picking up anything from DC. They haven't had good jumping on points for me, and the series that have been coming out, I just really wasn't too interested in them. So I'm hoping this week is different. So first up today, we have Batman Annual number 5, has a cover A and a cover B, and I'm really looking forward to this issue. I'm definitely picking it up, and for you Batman fans out there, this is the origin of the Clown Hunter. Personally, I'm specking pretty hard on this character. I think he's going to be sticking around for a little while and could play a major role at some point. So I think this issue will pair very nicely to my first appearance of him. But moving on from there, we have Tales of the Dark Multiverse, Dark Knight's Metal, number 1. This only has a cover A, and I think I'm picking this one up too. I read the original Dark Knight's Metal series, and I really enjoyed it, and usually I skip out on these Dark Multiverse series because I don't have enough backstory and knowledge of the prior events, but this one I do, so I'm most likely getting it. But moving on from there, we have Dark Knight's Death Metal, The Last 52, War of the Multiverses, number 1. This has a cover A and a cover B. And if you've been following my videos, I'm not reading this series anymore. I ended up selling it all off. It just wasn't for me anymore. I lost a lot of interest in it, so I won't be picking this one up. But the final issue this week from DC Comics is Justice League, The Endless Winter, number 2. And this is the final issue of the Endless Winter series. I feel like it just wrapped up very quickly. I don't know anything about it. I don't know if anyone's even reading it still. But if you are, let me know down low in the comment section what you think. But those are all the issues coming out from DC this week. Super light week. But I'm going to be picking up a couple issues. I'm definitely getting Batman Annual number 5. Definitely grabbing just cover A, but then I'm also getting Tales of the Dark Multiverse, Dark Knight's Metal number 1. So what do you guys think about the new comics this week? Definitely going to be a lighter week. Most of the publishers aren't releasing a whole lot of books. It's the end of the year. I get it. It's whatever. But personally, I'm really looking forward to Amazing Spider-Man number 55. I think that's going to be the big issue of the week, and plus that cover is just beautiful. Let me know down below in the comment section which issue you're looking forward to most. But thank you for watching my video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, hit that subscribe button down low and the little bell to get notified. Every time I drop new content, you won't regret it. And I've got 2 more videos sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.